get you more details of what has happened overnight. Remember, Hussain Rana, he was brought back to India, extradited back to India from Los Angeles. His legs were shackled and a chain was there around his waist. And this is how the 2611 plotter was brought back to meet his fate. He was handed over by the US Marshals and authorities to the Indian officials in Los Angeles. Well, Times Now gets you the first exclusive image that you can see on your screens, which describes one of the most guarded intelligence operations in recent history. This was codenamed Operation Rana. Well, the top secret cross-continental mission carried out with utmost precision. Senior NIA officials, elite NSG commandos and hand-picked intelligence personnel all were on board a specially designated aircraft from Los Angeles. This aircraft was tracked in real time by the air traffic control units as well as central agencies back home in India. It made a very covert refueling stop before entering Indian space, but no details were given out. With incredible threats that he has been facing, this of course from Pakistan-based terror outfits, India left nothing to chance. And as you can see, it was Operation Rana turned out to be a success. Well, let me go across to Priyank, who's joining us with all the details. Priyank, finally, this man who could be key in punishing Pakistan for the 2611 attacks is now in Indian custody, in NIA custody to be precise. I believe the interrogation has already begun. What's happening on that front? What are they asking him?
Yes, Sati, Meghna, Hussain Rana is there at NIA headquarters, and Sati, the first round of questioning has begun. What we have got to know that there will be series of round of questioning related to his link with ISI, related to his link with Lashkar-e-Taiba, and also the plot of the 2611 attack. The National Investigating Agency has already got an ambit from the US authorities that they will be probing him related to the 2611 attack. But you look at this tape where he has been confessing to the crime. He has no remorse, and what we have got to know that he is getting more radical, and he is becoming more religious according to him. But the manner in which he has been behaving over the period of last 24 hours with the NIA officials is clearly establishing that this man does not have any kind of remorse even after being in prison and even after being shifted back to the national capital. Right now, there will be a series of questioning which will happen in this particular case. But the Operation Rana was very much successful as per the NIA official. You look at the timing, the manner in which the flight took off from LA, there was no information which came out in public domain. And even early in the morning when the transit happened, when the transfer of the prisoner happened, the information was not leaked before the media. Even here in the national capital at the air traffic control, the officials from the central agencies were camping so that the ATC information should not go out in public, and the radar which can locate the flight was there, but there was no specific information regarding the detail of the flight. The flight also took layoff at several other locations like Germany, and refueling happened in Dubai, but no information came out in public domain. And even on board, the NSG officials, the commandos were there so that any kind of unfortunate incident should be avoided. That did not stop even Meghna. When he was brought here at the Palamaya base, all the mobile phone of all those officials who are junior rank officers were seized, and it was kept at one location. Once Rana left from the location, the mobile phones were handed off. And even at Patiala House Court, same sort of secrecy has been maintained. So the next 18 days, because the police custody has been given on today's date, Hussain Rana will be subject to series of questioning, and multiple questions will be asked to him. The set line of questions, what we have got to know, will be about his link with LET, his link with ISI, as well as his active role in 2611 attack. He will also be asked that what was the exact motive because of which you conspired with David Coleman Henley, and what did you do when you were here in Mumbai?
And remember, this is a man who said that Indians deserved it. Of course, it was not just Indian. The 166 who were killed were Indians and several international guests as well who were there in India. But in either ways, this is the mindset of the man. Meanwhile, we have more breaking news. Remember, here on Times Now, we are getting you the smallest, minutest details of this close to 27 to 30-hour-long journey all the way from Los Angeles to India. The sources are telling us that such was the sensitivity of the mission that one of the NIA officials reportedly held Rana's hand throughout the journey. Now, this is very significant because they must ensure that India is one of the most highest asset when it comes to the trial, which is going to happen for the 2611. This is to ensure that he does not get any chance to harm himself, does not get any chance to harm anyone, does not get any chance to try and run. In fact, Delhi's Palam Air Base security protocols had hit the highest level. Delhi's police security wing was ordered to surrender all the mobile phones as well. So no one had any mobile phones, so that there were no leaks, there were no pictures which were taken, and there were absolutely no lapses, just silence and shadows. To avoid any media glare, Tahawwur Hussain Rana was taken out through an alternate gate as well in a non-transparent jail van. He was then produced in the court last night under the tighter security. And of course, Bhavtosh, Priyank as well as Rishabh, all three of them were out there till the early hours of the morning, tracking every little detail of it. But Bhavtosh, I'm going to come to you. This is very interesting. The fact that an NIA officer all throughout ensured that he was holding the hand of Tahawwur Hussain Rana so that nothing is left to chance. Did they fear that he may harm himself?
Well, Meghna, as far as his security is concerned, the visuals that we had from Los Angeles also showed that they also treated him like a high-value asset who has, in fact, a high threat perception. He was accompanied by U.S. Marshals when he was, in fact, being planed there. And you can see U.S. Marshals have, in fact, put him in shackles. And there is also an NIA official present there. And the entire runway was, in fact, guarded by them. And then NIA officials, along with officials from Central Intelligence Agency, had boarded that flight. They were what we came to know later, only when that private jet landed in India, that there were NSG personnel also present there. Now, these NSG personnel were from anti-hijacking unit. So this was the level of secrecy that was maintained, because this was the first time that any high-value ISI agent was arriving in India. And the government had, in fact, told NIA officials as well as officials from Central Intelligence Agency that they should maintain utmost secrecy, and they should also keep security at the highest level to bring him back. What is most interesting is the fact that when he was boarding the flight, he was kept in shackles, but once he landed here, those shackles were removed because in Indian law, the Supreme Court has made it very clear that no one would be handcuffed unless he has a very high threat perception or there are chances that he will flee.
Well, in fact, do stay on with us. Rishabh, if I can come to you. As we were just discussing here earlier in the show, the United States DOJ has put out the statement saying that there was a conversation which happened between David Coleman Headley and Tahawwur Hussain Rana, where Rana allegedly had said that Indians deserved it. Is this one of the reasons, perhaps amidst others as well, that Tahawwur Hussain Rana repeatedly kept going back to US courts saying that I may not be safe, but despite that, despite the fact that he is the man who said Indians deserve that mass murder, today India is willing to give him a fair trial. India has even given general guarantees for him.
Well, Meena, that's the beauty of a constitutional democracy. Whatever wrong you would have done, but in front of court, you always have a chance of fair trial. And we have seen it in the case of Afzal Guru, we have seen it in the case of Kasab, we have seen it in the case of many other individuals who have very openly and brazenly attacked the sovereignty of our country. And that is the reason that US Justice Department also by the end of it realized and approved of the extradition, given that India was very categorically with case studies put forward its case that how whoever has been in India's custody, there have been a fair trial on him. Apart from that, the para 4 that you're mentioning from the Department of Justice in the United States statement that has come out, it was shared by the embassy here in Delhi as well with all of us. It very categorically talks about the intercept between the two, Tahawwur Hussain Rana and David Coleman Headley, who is serving a 35-year-long jail term in United States. in case related to 2611 and others as well. And where he says that Indians, quote unquote, deserved it. This shows the mindset, the way Donald Trump, the US president, said, very evil man. And this is what the mindset of Tahir Hussain Rana, the radicalized mindset of Tahir Hussain Rana, is in exhibition. Apart from that, he also comments in that interaction with David Coleman Headley that how the 9 quote-unquote fighters, as he calls, of Lashkar-e-Taiba, the terrorists, including Kasab, who entered Mumbai on 26/11 and created that mayhem, the terror attack, leaving over 160 dead, should be accorded with Nishan-e-Haider, the highest military gallantry award in battle in Pakistan. And this showcases that how it was not just non-state actors, it was the establishment of Pakistan that was behind this attack. And that's where, the line from External Affairs Minister from 2023 comes into picture, where he calls Pakistan, the sympathizer, promoter, financer, as well as spokesperson of terror industry. And this showcases, there is a reason why Pakistan yesterday distanced itself from Tahir Rana, calling him a Canadian citizen. Because
calling him a Canadian citizen who hasn't stayed there. But what about the massive quantum of evidence that there is already existing, linking him to Hafiz Saeed, linking him to Major Iqbal, and all the other perpetrators of the 26/11 who are still sitting in Pakistan? Let me go across to Major General G.D. Bakshi, who is joining us, a defense analyst, a strategist. Major General G.D. Bakshi, of course, we have all agreed that this is a big win for India to bring back a man like Tahir Hussain Rana. But what is chilling is to find out that such was his mindset after that dastardly attack, after that carnage. He actually told David Coleman Headley that Indians deserved it. Goes to show the extent of radicalization, wouldn't you say?
Not only did he say that the Indians deserved it, he also said that those 10 mass murderers who carried out this horrific mass casualty terror strike, unprecedented in the world's annals till then, they should be given the Nishan-e-Haider, the highest gallantry award given to Pakistani military soldiers in war. And
Absolutely.
they should be given that posthumously. There is a man who's a terror promoter, terror facilitator, and let me tell you, this man is Major Tahir Rana, who served in the medical corps of the Pakistan Army. He directly served the Pakistan Army.
Yes.
And I don't know why we forget his rank. To mention his rank in the Pakistan Army, Pakistan can give all the denials that it wants, that it hasn't renewed his papers for the last 20 years. Quite obviously, they knew he was in trouble with the FBI, so they would want to attract any attention towards themselves. But the fact is, they are well and truly caught. This man is singing like a canary now, and he will implicate all the Pakistani military state apparatus that was directly involved in this dastardly attack.
And it's time that they pay for their sins. Let me also go across to Colonel RSN Singh. Isn't it ironic, RSN Singh, the fact that at the time of Kasab, we saw how Pakistan, after radicalizing and sending in these terror gangs to carry out mass murder and carnage, quickly distanced themselves. Now again, in the case of Tahir Hussain Rana, Pakistan's come out and said he's a Canadian citizen, has nothing to do with us. Pakistan can run, how long can they hide?
Look at his radicalization, Tahir Rana. He leaves Pakistan in somewhere in 90s, and then in 2006 he starts planning for this Mumbai attack. Now, normally we understand that everybody who goes abroad to USA and Canada and European countries, they go for looking for bigger opportunities and greener economic pastures. But here is a man who leaves everything behind and goes to the Canadian and American soil and still pursues jihadi terror. So the larger question is that how many Tasavvur runners are there? You know, from Pakistan.
The sleeper
Still
cells,
active.
yes.
And the second thing is that if he really wants that, you know, Pakistan should treat them as martyrs, then why fake their identity? Pakistan hasn't accepted any one of them officially. So why fake their identity? And fake people can never be martyrs, nor they can be, you know, soldiers. But that is the want of Pakistan. You and I cannot do anything about it.
Absolutely. That is the truth about Pakistan. Let me go across to General Bakshi also. General Bakshi, you agree with that? That Pakistan doesn't have the gumption, after sending in the suicide squad, doesn't even have the gumption to accept that these are men that they had sent it, they have indoctrinated. But the evidence is such, wouldn't you say, General Bakshi, that it is impossible for them to deny it. Be it the conversations which have been there between David Coleman Headley, Hafiz Saeed, and, of course, Tahabur Hussain Rana. It's undeniable, but Pakistan now is rattled and gone into denial mode.
You see, the simple fact is that Pakistan, you know, the only alibi that they have been giving is that these are rogue, non-state actors. That the Pakistani state is lily white. It has nothing to do with these mass casualty terror strikes. The fact that they are panicking so much now is that Tahabur Rana is a key witness. The link between the Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Pakistani army and the ISI. Let me elaborate. Major Iqbal of the ISI, Major Tahabur Rana of the Pakistan Army Medical Corps, and Dawood Gilani, Aka David Coleman Headley. They were all studying together in a military college in Hassan, you see, in Pakistan. And from there, Major Iqbal went to the ISI. This man joined the Pakistan Medical Corps. Then subsequently, he left it. He became a low medical category, whatever. And then he went to Chicago, where he opened a first world immigration agency. Here is the man who provided the passport to David Coleman Headley. Here is the man who got him a 5-year visa so that he entered Mumbai 5 times to do recce between 2006 and 2007.
Absolutely.
He recce'd all the points to be attacked. And this man had personally visited Taj Hotel, stayed there and did a recce himself. He is, very much involved. It was his idea that David Coleman Headley purchased the Mauli thread, the sacred thread that Hindus tie on their wrist. And Headley gave it to the Pakistani attackers so that they would be identified as Hindu terrorists, if you please. And a whole narrative was created about Hindu terrorism. There was a movie made in Bollywood, and then there was a book released by...
Absolutely. How they try to disguise their religion while they were carrying out the attack. Absolutely. You're spot on that. Thank you so much, Major General G.D. Bakshi, for joining us. Let me go across to Sushant Sareen also, who's joining us, strategic expert. Sushant Sareen, the way forward from here. We have the US DOJ coming out and saying that this man had a conversation saying the Indians deserved it, even demanded the highest gallantry award for what he called the fallen soldiers, the attackers such as Kasab by Pakistan. How long before Pakistan gets to admit it? How long before Pakistan admits it and those who are still being shielded by Pakistan are brought to book?
So look, I think for the Pakistanis, of course, terrorists deserve the highest gallantry award because for Pakistanis, gallantry is about terrorism. That if you can kill innocent women and children, unarmed women and children, unarmed innocent civilians, that is gallantry for the Pakistanis. So I'm not surprised that a person who had served in the Pakistan army was recommending the highest gallantry award for terrorists. That's what they do. That is the kind of gallantry awards they give to their own soldiers who go and massacre people in Balochistan, in KP and other parts of Pakistan, or the ones who carried out a genocide in Bangladesh. That's Pakistan for you. Now, as far as Pakistan being contrite, Pakistan accepting what had happened, Pakistan bringing the perpetrators and planners to book. I don't think that's going to happen, because when you have a state with a demonic mindset like Pakistan has, where terrorists are supposed to be heroes and are lauded as great mujahids, then I don't think you are going to get them to even accept that they were involved in something like this, simply because that is not what they do. They're going to be utterly shameless, and they're going to brazen it out. And
Which they have over the years.
And one example of that has been the statement which was issued by the Foreign Office, I think yesterday or day before, simply washing their hands of this fellow. And they will try and, do this, but it's not going to wash down anybody's throat, because an attack like that could not have happened without the complicity and the connivance of the Pakistani state, right? Active involvement, in fact. Number one. Number two, what is very important to understand is that, you can say that this man was a Canadian national, but he was hobnobbing with people who are working inside Pakistan. All the transcripts of the conversations which they've had, the intercepts which have been made, the conversations of the terrorists in Mumbai talking to their handlers in Karachi and
a deserter of the Pakistani army too.
They were all, yeah. So the point is that Pakistan can try and deny whatever that it wants to deny, but I don't think there is any doubt in anybody sensible's mind about Pakistani involvement. The only thing is that, in the initial years, we tried to give a pass to Pakistan by, pushing this under the carpet and trying to have talks with them, trying to increase trade with them, have a normalized relation with them. That was the mistake we made. The Pakistanis were very happy. They were laughing their way to the bank because, here were these namby-pamby Indians who were once again sucking up to Pakistan, despite Pakistan having carried out one of the most heinous...
Well, that's interesting, because now hopefully India has changed its image. Yes, you're absolutely right. What has happened in the past, the repeated betrayals by Pakistan. However, now this is a different India. The different India which, through diplomacy and a lot of hard work, paperwork, legal work by the agencies managing to get back Tahawoor Hussain Rana, hopefully is going to be at least a step towards changing that image of India. Shishant Sareen, do stay on with us. Let me go across to Sagarika. It's important for us to remind our viewers of this DOJ statement.